Got it?
Yep.
All right. And you all can follow along if you want to. So we're going to start out by taking a quick look at what might look like a teacher profile page. Now, understand we have teachers here. We have you're Mr. Richardson. Are you I know you serve the entire district, but are you a director or assistant director? What's your title?
Still psychologist.
The psychologist, I knew that, but
Right.
System-wide psychologist.
Yeah.
So you're not a regular teacher per se, so you wouldn't be having a Google Classroom, I don't think.
Perhaps not, but I don't know enough about the functionality of Google Classroom I mean, it wouldn't be a conventional use for Google Classroom.
Right. You're not giving assignments to anybody.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. All right. Thanks for that info. So what we want to try to do whenever we complete a website is to make the information that's available reflective of only what we want to share. Nothing too personal. We want it to be neat and easy to read. Parents are looking to the website for mostly information, and so we want to make sure that information is easy to get to and it looks nice and it doesn't look amateurish, right? So there's a way to do that, and there's definitely a way not to do that, right? So I'm going to be showing you how we can make things look the way they should. All right? So that's your example profile page for a teacher. Not just for a teacher, for any staff member. You can see we have a little bit of information, a welcoming message there, a little bit of information there about educational background that might be worth noting on a teacher website. And then, of course, we have down at the bottom our classes that are linked from Google Classroom. Come on in, we're just getting started. So we're just talking about what a possible profile page might look like for an educator, all right? Emphasizing the neatness component of it, as well as the information on there that is to be useful, all right? Here's another class example page. Now this might be something that you would see if you've linked your Edlio website to a Google Classroom class. That course description that you see there, that's actually entered in Google Classroom, in the description section of Google Classroom. And whenever you link Edlio and Google Classroom together, they talk to each other, and it automatically pulls that information from Google Classroom, and you're going to see it there, as well as any upcoming assignments that you have entered dates on inside of Google Classroom. So it's really nice, that tight integration. And it all works behind the scenes once you make that initial connection. Now, if you don't have any classes, this is something you don't really necessarily need, but that's okay. Yeah. All right, so that's a class page. That's what it might look like. And then, of course, you can also do posts. You can think of posts as like a blog entry. If you have something that maybe thoughts on the week's activities that you'd like to post to the page, you can do that. Parents, students can subscribe to it quite easily. That's going to be a section of your website that you can add to and modify as needed. We'll get there in just a second. I'm just making you aware of the type of pages that you can add to and utilize inside of Edlio. And Edlio is the brand name of this company that we work with that lets us build these websites. So when I say Edlio, that's just who puts it together for us.
I have a question.
Sure.
Do you ever want to have a Google site?
No, we try to keep everything inside of Edlio, so
Okay.
that's centrally managed. We have had issues where some of those have been published. Maybe people have left the system, and we've had some issues trying to get into it, disabling things not being linked correctly, and it's created some problems. There might be a very rare instance where, under special circumstances, we set up a Google site for a specific reason, but it's very rare. Yeah, most everything that we need to do, we can do inside of Edlio. There's a way to do it.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Now, logging into your Edlio account is quite easy. Of course, you're going to want to do it on the school that you're assigned to. If you're assigned to the high school, ahs.alcoaschools.net, you would go down to the very bottom of the page and you would look for that login button. All right, same up here. Mr. Richardson, you're assigned to central office, so you would do it from the district site. Scroll down, log in, and then you'd be able to edit your page there.
Okay.
We have the intermediate school, and then are you at the elementary school? I see you there a lot.
That's where my office is, but
Okay.
I'm at all the schools.
Okay.
Yeah.
So look for that. And of course, it's going to be the first part of your email address followed by your same password that you use to log into your email address. This is your dashboard. So whenever you log into Edlio, you can see the different sections there. You can create newsletters, contact lists. Has a calendar function there. Your pages, that's probably where you're going to end up going most of the time. See that little icon on the right there where it says pages? And that's divided into two sections. You have personal pages and then category pages, which maybe if you're head of the department or we've given you access to edit a department page, that's where you would find that. All right. This is what the editing screen would look like whenever you're working on your website. Very familiar if you've used a word processor. All right. You can see the standard controls up there at the top. And then two little buttons down at the bottom where it says Save Draft and Publish. Somebody want to maybe try to tell me the difference between both of those. So let's say you're working on it for a while. Maybe you spent a half hour in this area. Well, what happens if you just click Save Draft versus if you click the Publish button? Any ideas?
Just going to go to Edlio. It won't go live.
That's right. It's not public unless you choose Publish. Once you hit Publish, it's out there for the world to see. So be careful what you post. Yeah. One, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I will mention it though. There is a way if you totally mess up your site, you put a bunch of stuff in there that you decide later I shouldn't have done that or I like the way it was before. There's a way you can go back into your revision history to a point in time when you were satisfied with what was there and then revert back to it. So there is that functionality there as well. You see all that across all the Google Workspace products. Revision history, we have that same feature here if we ever want to utilize it. Okay, I mentioned Google Classroom. This is where you would actually go to enter your information, which feeds into Edlio. You can see what I'm doing there in Classroom. I'm clicking the gear, and then in Class Details, that's where you're going to find it. See that? Class Description. That's where you enter that. And then whenever it syncs overnight, Edlio and Google Classroom, it'll go ahead and have that information updated.
So it does take overnight to sync.
It does. There is a way to manually do it inside of Edlio if you want to sync now. Yeah.
Okay.
So once it syncs, do you then go back and push publish, or
Well, when we're talking about syncing, yeah.
publish is involved in?
Well, think of publishing as just publishing any changes you're making specifically to Edlio, whereas syncing is going to pull information from Google Classroom and bring it into Edlio.
Okay.
That makes sense?
So there's no need to proofread or anything.
Yeah, you don't have to go into Google Classroom after you click publish for anything, unless you're completing something like this, editing the description of the page, or making assignments. And I made a little animation here just emphasizing the importance of whenever you create an assignment in Google Classroom, you want to make sure that you attach a due date. Because if you don't do that, it's not going to show up there. Very important. This is what it looks like to link your classes. Let me go back. Hopefully it'll start from the very beginning animation. Doesn't look like it's going to, but you can see where you can pull any class you have inside of Google Classroom. And then you're going to choose a department that it's associated with, and then you just connect it. Once it's connected, you're good to go. Here we are from the very beginning. You click Classes. It's very obvious. I think this is a very intuitive product here.
So once you connect it, you don't have to save it or publish
Right,
or anything.
right.
It just automatically goes.
Yeah, automatically pulls it in. And that's great, especially if you want parents to be able to see what's taking place in your classroom as well.
So at the end of the year, when we archive that class, will it automatically talk to it, or is there something else?
Well, it won't pull in any new information. So what you'll want to do is you'll come back here
Uh-huh.
to Edlio and you'll reconnect to a new class.
The new class.
Mhm.
So So
You just,
it won't have like this year's math class, next year's math class.
it'll have whatever's current. So if you have
So whatever's
this year's
current.
math class in Google Classroom, then you archive that. Then you come back here to Edleo and you connect it with your current class.
Gotcha.
Then it pulls from there.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Sure. And then another thing, this has to do with compliance, adding a classroom syllabus. All right, so it's a matter of just choosing this. You can actually pull this directly from Google Drive. It'll accept a Google Doc, and it'll automatically convert it to a PDF on the fly. Once this is finishes, I'll walk you through the start and show you what this whole process looks like. Okay, and then we save it. All right, so here we are in our class, and there's the option to, once we click on a class, edit it. You see I'm clicking edit class there, and then there's that little box. This is where I would attach a file. And I'm going to my Google Drive there, and then at that point, I'm just going to start searching for the syllabus. I called it syllabus to make it easy to find. And then when I choose it, watch here, it'll upload it, and then see how it converted it to a PDF? That wasn't a PDF, that was actually a Google Doc. But it made it a PDF so that when visitors come to your website, they can click and open it. They don't have to worry about permissions.
That also works for Google Sheets.
Yeah, yeah, I believe so. I believe it
Because ours
does.
is on Google Sheets.
Yeah. All right, let's see what else we got here. Then, of course, adding a link. That's something that Dr. Hawkins wanted us to all make sure that we were doing. A link to our academic planning guide. So it's going through this process here. So when we're inside of our teacher page, that's sort of what it's going to look like. You can change the appearance of it there, the buttons. 6 styles to choose from. That's all you have to do it. So here we are from the beginning. We click add, and then when we choose links, every school has a topic underneath school links that's called faculty comment. Now that's something I've set up on the back end to make it easy for you, and it automatically put the planning guide there. So you're not having to hunt it down, copy the URL. It just does it automatically. And then from there, you're just choosing the style of the button that you like. And then you're good. So then when we start to check these pages, we're going to see, oh, there's your academic planning guide right there. You're good to go. Okay?
So you add the links first, and then you highlight it, and then you can turn it into a button
Yes.
later.
Yeah, you add the link first.
And can you do the same thing with like an email address?
Well, that, what you're seeing displayed right there is a feature exclusive to the links feature of Edleo.
Okay.
So you can make anything link to an email address. You could make text, you could make an animation, you could make a graphic, you could throw it in there. Now, we don't post any individual email addresses on our pages because of the chance for spam. However, we do have access to the form that will send you an email. So if you were to go to your profile page and click on Contact You, it takes you to your exclusive form page where somebody can fill it out. That's fine. And then when they submit it, it goes to your email address. You get it.
Okay.
And that's all a preventative measure, to keep us from getting bombarded from the spammers. Okay? All right. And I mentioned the syncing, or you asked about the syncing. And so it looks like we have, if you look closely, I zoomed in there. You see that little update now button? Yeah. That's the manual sync. Yeah. So if you create a new assignment in Classroom and you want it to be reflected there, so you update it manually. You're good to go. Okay. At the very end of this presentation, I've got some links there. Direct links to the Edleo Help Center, the Google Classroom Help Center, and of course our tech department here, where you can find some resources as well. Let me switch on over here to my demo site. and I'm going to log into the high school website using this account. And if you want to follow along logging into your school's site, you can. It's entirely up to you. And I'm going to go slow, and if you have any questions along the way, feel happy to address them, or ask them, and I'll do my best to address them. So I'm going to go to the high school page. So that is ahs.alcoaschools.net. I'm going to scroll down at the very bottom. There is my login button. All right, I'm going to enter my credentials here, and then I'll click sign in. Now, once you're in here, a few places that you can go, and depending on your level of access, you may or may not see some of these options here. Now, if you're wanting to connect to Google Classroom, you're going to come down here to Classes. If you're just wanting to edit your website, and we're going to start with there, you're going to choose Pages, this top option right here. So I'm going to click that. And then you can see, in this case, this Edleo teacher, they have 2 pages. The top level page is the default page. So that's where people land at. Whenever they click on your name on the website, they go to your website. Whatever here is at the top, that's what they'll see first. Okay?
So Tom, mine says,
Yeah.
mine says, where yours says profile?
Yeah.
Mine
Yours says bio. That's basically the
okay.
same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And how you would rename that, you just click on it. You could have it say profile. Actually, I think I prefer to have it say faculty bio. So I'm going to change that right now. Right up there at the top. And then that changes the name of the page. And if you're not really that good at writing about yourself, I know you've heard of ChatGPT or even Gemini. You could do a simple request there and say, hey, write a generic welcome message for a teacher web page. Be as specific as you want with regards to what you teach, and it'll do it for you. Just copy and paste that in
Can you
there.
show us that real fast?
Sure.
I mean, you're talking something. I'm special ed.
Okay.
Okay, so I go, and this is free?
Oh, ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to open a new tab.
But my phone's in the car.
Yeah, and you could just go to chatgpt.com. Okay, and you will have to connect it first. So, and I'm going to log in here. That process is just as easy as connecting it to your Google account. All right, that's all you'd have to do there. You see where it says log in or sign up there?
Sign up.
Yep. And then it'll choose to continue with Google. Down, go down. There you go. And then your top one there. Yeah. All right. So, all right. I'm going to continue with Google here, so you can see what this looks like.
I want to just keep clicking and continue, right? Tom?
Yeah.
Until
Yeah.
it's important.
If you don't continue, you're not going to get anywhere.
I went to this. Have you ever? I've never done that. Like, practice for you.
Right, that's, no, it went to content.
You had to go to. You had to go to chat.
ChatGPT. And what I'll do for you folks who came today, I'm going to go ahead and I'll send you a follow-up after the session containing some of the links and things that I've talked about.
To the content keeper.
Yeah, I don't have time to look at that right now, but I'll get you the link and you'll be able to access it.
Thank you.
No problem. So in this case, if I wanted to create a simple welcome message for a teacher website, look at how easy this is. See if I can zoom in a little bit. Watch this. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So notice what I've typed in here. Create a simple welcome message for a teacher website. The teacher is a 4th grade teacher. Let's see what it comes up with.
Good.
And yeah, and what's nice is if you're not satisfied with that, I think we have some options here. Oh, that's going to be the model. Hang on, let me zoom out. See if I think it's too short, yeah, to really do much with it. But there's options to make the mood
So if you type the message,
different.
you can converse with ChatGPT.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
Make it less, I don't know, formal or longer.
That's right. That's right. You can customize the responses, how they come back. I know I've utilized it when I've had to send out an email, whereas if I left myself in my current mood to send it, might not be that great or well received. So I've put it in here and I've asked it to just go ahead and tone it down, and the results are going to be much more palatable. Yeah, once they're sent. So that's one way you can use it.
So then does it become like a word copy? So you just highlight and copy? Like
Yeah,
highlight
you have the option to copy it right there. You can select it and copy, or just choose the copy button.
Okay.
Yeah, and so if I was to copy this here, Marty.
Mine showed up. Mine had only copy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and then all I have to do is come back to the website, and this is important too because we talked earlier about making things look nice. Oftentimes, if you just copy paste as it's currently formatted into this area and then save it, it's going to bring in all that formatting. So rather than just a simple paste, you choose paste and match style. This is free of charge, what I'm about to show you here. If you right click on there, you're going to see the option to paste and match style. You'll also see that under the edit menu here, paste and match style. So what that does is it formats whatever text that you're bringing in to the same format that is currently in that text box. And that's going to ensure that it looks nice.
Yeah, see, mine just says paste as plain text.
That would be the same thing. Paste as plain text, yeah. And then from there, if you need to go through the paragraphs and maybe add a couple returns, you could do that.
This is making me sound a lot smarter than I am.
Yeah, this isn't really. I mean, this is a text editor right here. That's all this is. And then if you wanted to do things like bulleted lists, you could select the text. I'm going to attempt to do that here. And then you go up to your bullets right here. Whoops, look at that. I needed to have a return here. That's why it didn't do it. Now let me try it here. It's probably still not going to do it because I need some more returns. Hang on. It's very specific. Okay, there we go. Now it should do it. Boop. Okay, get rid of that. And I want to show you why understanding how to format text is important, because you can really draw someone's attention to a specific area of your page if you're utilizing bold, italics, and bullets and numbering. If I go to the district website, a shameless promotion here, but we're going to go to our technology page. Watch this. We have a blog over here where we've got all these different stories that we've written. And if you click on any one of them, you're going to see I've made bold certain things. And as a reader, your eyes are going to be drawn to what is bold and where there are bullets, right? Those are...
And parents appreciate that so much more too, because they don't want to go through and read a whole paragraph of all the things. They want to the point, because they're busy.
That's right.
You know,
That's
and
right.
I want my information across, so doing those bullets definitely helps.
If you write with that in mind, it's really gonna help. Yeah. So you can do that in Edlio. You can make your text easy to read. Now over here on the right-hand side, I want to make sure you all know how to do this. And you can add any content in here. You'll notice up at the top. Of course, you can edit your text, but you can do your links. And if you go all the way here to the right, this is where you can actually add video and images there as well. If you wanted to embed a YouTube page, you could do that here with source code. You just copy the code from YouTube, and you could put it anywhere on your page that you like.
Tom, would it be appropriate to, like, where you're importing like pictures and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like, for my guys, we go Special Olympics.
Yeah.
So like, as long as we've got that permission for photo to highlight.
Oh, I think that'd be very appropriate to have in here. Yeah, absolutely. So long as that permission has been signed. And look, you can actually create a photo block. So down at the bottom here, we clicked Add. You can see I can choose this option here. And then once I upload my photos, it'll make a nice, nice display where you have the option to have it rotate, or sort of a grid where you can click on the images. It makes it look really nice if you do that. Or you could have a photo page.
Mhm. Well, I get left out with that Google Classroom.
Yeah.
With what I do, so maybe adding that would be.
Yeah, and what you could do is you could come back here to, let me leave this, I'm not going to save that. But back here you have all different kinds of pages that you can add, and if I added a page, you can see I can add a photo album. And what will happen when I do that, if I come back to the profile page and when I'm viewing this online, once you create a photo album, it'll actually put it over here on the right. So a visitor can click on photos and then see everything.
Okay,
But we have to create the page first.
okay.
That make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah, so if I did that and I went add page, photo album, I would just upload the photos, just drop them in here, and then it creates it for me.
Okay.
Okay? All right, let me come back. I want to real quickly talk about this button, what that looks like, and how you add it. We click Add. Look at how easy this is, and then just choose links. I'm going to look for school links, and then faculty common. When I choose that and then click Save, it's going to put the planning guide, a link to the planning guide there for me. And if I want to change its appearance, I just click the little gear here. I'll set it to button. I can choose any one of these styles here and click Save. See, and then to get rid of it, you just click inside this block area. It always does that. I can never get, there we go. And you just hit the little trash can and it'll go away. When you're ready for the world to see your changes, just click the Publish button and you're good to go. Now I've got this set up a little bit different on the elementary school website. And intermediate school, I think y'all use Dojo?
Yes.
Okay, so,
I mean, as a parent, I never liked
okay, well,
it.
You didn't like it?
No, I did not. And we had it in elementary, and I never liked it.
so I'm going to go to the intermediate school website.
Is it in there?
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's error, but
Well,
So watch this. If I go here, I'm going to log into the intermediate school website. And I'm going to do the same thing. Just as the admin here. Let me go to my pages. Okay, move this up. There's my little handle here. I'll drag that up. I click on it. All right, you can see how these buttons, I've got two of them. That's because on the back end, we added two to those links. So if I click Add Links, it's going to be school links, right? Faculty Common, and I click Save. Look, there they both are. And then I can change those to buttons. And then it's done.
That's not, is that gonna be my specific, or that's the school?
This is the school right here. Now, if you're talking about your syllabus, what are we talking about, right? Oh,
I got
that,
my planning guide.
yeah. So that's just a generic URL that goes to Class Dojo.
Gotcha.
All right. Yeah. Obviously, we couldn't have the same button linked to everybody's different individual dojo page. That
But
just
you
gets
could
them
talk-
there.
Link it to your individual class, right? Even though
So what happens when they click on that link, they'll have the option to log in, and then they'll be able to see whoever's pages they belong to.
Gotcha.
Okay?
So it brought up both of those, but I already have.
Well, you didn't have to, if you already had it on there, you didn't have to add it again.
I was just getting, I was just trying to get Class Dojo on there and that's it.
Okay, so you didn't have Class Dojo on there before?
No, just
Oh.
academic planning.
Okay, well, you know what? You can delete that top button there. Just get inside there and then hit the trash can. It might open up. There you go. Hit the trash can. There you go. Now you got them both on there. And go back. It always happens where it opens it up. And click a little gear. There you go. And then choose your buttons. Choose a
I
style.
wanted my room anyway.
Yeah. There you go. Now you're all set. Now you're compliant. Fully compliant there. And then I don't know if you have a Google Classroom page, but if you wanted to look on how we go ahead and connect that and add the syllabus, we can. Do we need to do that for anybody? Otherwise, it's you don't have a Google Classroom.
So I know that this is to be compliant for the system, but how do you know we're compliant?
We check them.
So
I have a spreadsheet where all the requirements are listed, and we actually go in. It's a painstaking process, and we go in and we look, and I click the links and I check to make sure that everything's there. And where they're not, I'm updating the spreadsheet, and then telling people, here, this is where you're deficient. If you need some help, we'll come out there and show you how to do it. And
What
then,
if you don't have
yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you don't, this is going to be for the classroom teachers that have a class that they teach. So, I mean, it's not going to apply to paras or assistants. Now, they can certainly help the teacher, maybe when it comes to updating that sort of thing, but the responsibility falls on the classroom teacher. But in special cases where, Marty, you wouldn't have a Google Classroom, I'm looking for that connection, but in your case, you wouldn't have that, right?
And you would know.
And I would know
And
that.
You wouldn't get
That's
dinged by
right.
the system.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
Yeah, and Debbie wouldn't have.
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm checking.
Does my profile though need to be on all of the schools?
You serve all the schools.
Serve all the speech therapists, serve all the schools.
I think it would probably make sense for us to have you listed up here. So if you want to shoot me a reminder email, I'll make sure that we have you listed. And then whenever you update your profile page, after signing into the district site,
Which I'm already updated
Yes.
for this year.
yes,
So
we'll make sure you're visible. Okay? All right. Any other questions I can answer here for you?
This wasn't too-
Mr. Richardson, were you pleased with how the site, your psychology page turned out?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Looks
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So then, how do you add? So you add additional. You can add additional pages, and then how are they linked together? Does that make any sense?
Yeah. So let me show you here. I'm gonna pretend to be you logging in. Okay. So I'm gonna go to this district website. So we just set up this psychology page. It's Dr. Richardson, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can call me Rob.
Okay. And so if you're wanting to add additional pages here, what we're going to do is just like before, we're going to log in. All right. All right. So I'm going to pages. Now, this is a category page. This is not a personal page. Are we talking about adding to your personal page or to the...
Is it different?
Oh, it's different.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, your personal page, let me show you the difference.
Okay.
Okay? Under Educator Support Center, you have the psychology page, which is not a personal profile page.
Uh-huh.
Your personal profile page, and if we click here, That should take us back to it. And you can also get there by going to Educator Support Center and Directory. There, everyone is going to be listed.
Okay.
Here you are. When you click on the name, then it takes you to the profile page.
Okay.
If you're wanting to edit this area, then you're going to go to personal page
Okay.
and edit that. If you're wanting to edit the psychology page, then you're going to go back here, and we are in administration. I've got a lot of stuff in here you won't see,
Okay.
and there it is, psychology.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay. I can't even imagine what they're talking about.
We could do that too then. We could do a speech language pathology page with all of us.
Conceivably, yes, you could. So in order to do that, we'd probably have to, like we did with the psychology page, set that up here and make it so that it's accessible. So all these items here underneath Educator Support Center, we have to set up, customize the navigational links so that they go where we want them to go. But we could do the same thing for you, and then once we have that area set up, we grant rights to editors who can go in and make changes. So Rob here, Rob or Robert, I'm sorry, Rob, filled out a Word doc with the information that he wanted to have originally on the website that we set up, and we just basically pasted it in there. And now we gave him edit rights, so moving forward he can make whatever changes he wants to. Him and Pam Haggard. So if it's you and maybe somebody else, we could do that as well. Yeah.
There's 3 of us.
Okay, yeah. And we do that, we also do that at the high school for clubs and for teams. We set those sort of things up too. So just understand the difference between your profile page and then one of these other types of pages.
Because there's like stuff like May's Better Speech and Hearing Month, so we like to put out stuff about better speech and hearing. And
Sure, you
stuff
could
like
do that.
So.
You could do that. Anything else? All right. Well, folks, at the very end of this presentation, I want you to go there, if you still have it open, go to the last page, that Google Sites or Google Slides presentation. Down at the very bottom, if you click that picture of the certificate, you should see a link. Once you click on that, just click the link and it'll take you to a form. Just fill that out and it will send you a PDF version of a certificate of completion for this workshop, and you get 1 hour's worth of in-service credit, professional development credit.
And that goes toward your banking.
That's right. That's right. And about 30 seconds after you fill it out, the session should be the first one on the list there. Teacher websites and compliance. And submit. 30 seconds later, check your email. You should see that certificate. That'll do it for today. I did record this, and I'll make that available along with some of the other information I mentioned, so you can have that to refer to moving forward.
Yes.
Okay. Thank
Okay?
you.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you so much for coming.